Hello, Peter C. Hayward here doing my daily Solforge video. Gonna be a quick one today because I've got a show tomorrow, and so I need to finish getting ready for that. Magma Hound, very nice card. I am just going to continue to show off my new green deck. I've made some pretty major modifications to it since I played it last. It's now got a pair of Deep Branches, 3 Packmasters, 3 Wisps, 1 Shardplate Mutant just for blocking. Haven't used it so far, I'll probably take it out if I can find something better. A single Runegrove Garden, because if you draw him at the right time he's really useful, the rest of the time he is not. 2 Leafkins, if I had a third I would put it in, 3 Lifebloods, 1 Ancient? How many Ancients? 1 Ancient. Again, if you draw it at the right time it's great, otherwise it's a bit of a dead hand. 3 Grove Huntresses, 2 Gemhide Bashes. Gemhide Bashes are in here mainly to sort of deal with Shapers. I've been winning a lot with this game, so I've kind of bumped myself up in the ranks, and I'm at the point where I'm just non-stop facing Tempest and Necrium Shapers. So if I face one of them, I'm probably just going to leave because they're boring games. I'm really sick of them. 3 Roars. 3 Roars? Yes, 3 Roars, 2 Phytobombs, an Etherhounds, and 3 Root Forged. Although I might switch out the Etherhound for a Phytobomb, haven't decided yet. Let's see how we go with what we got. I don't think you ever need 3 Phytobombs. I think that's a lot. Grin is the name of the deck. Let's play it online, and keep in mind I am going to quit if I face a Necrium Tempest Shaper deck, because I find them so boring. I can win against them, but it's like, it's not fun. It's just really repetitive. It's the same deck over and over and over. So, starting hand, I'm going to go with the Rootforged Avatar. Rootforged Avatar used to kind of be the lifeblood of this deck, but the more I play it, the more I kind of lean on the Uterra Packmasters. One thing about this deck is that it plays very, very differently based on which combination of factions you're going against. So I actually like to go first so I can see, so I'm going against Tempest here, obviously. So if it's a Necrium deck, wouldn't play Echo Wisp. Like, just don't do it, waste of time. Tempest deck Echo Wisp is viable. Let's see. No matter what I do, I run the risk of having my... I don't know, so I'm going to Echo Wisp here. Because, I mean, he might draw a Firestorm, but not that many people actually play Firestorm, interestingly. And Uterra Packmaster here, in the hope that he won't Firestorm and then move my Uterra Packmaster to be eaten by the Stormforged. That is a risk, but hopefully that won't happen. If I've still got a lot of life happening, I'll probably play a Lifeblood, otherwise there'll be a Uterra Packmaster and maybe a Grove Huntress just to buff it a little bit. Yeah, so this deck plays very, very differently against every combination of factions that you can go against. So against Pure Loin, you just hit them with the Echo Wisps, try to take them out fast before they can level up too much. Against the same deck, in a mirror match is the one I'm not great at so far. In a mirror match, you kind of have to ignore what they're doing and just play your own game, which is weird. I'm really enjoying this deck because it just plays very, very differently depending on who you're actually going up against. So it looks like, based on that move, I'm going to be able to survive this turn with at least... Oh no, there'll be some gaps. Oh well. I was hoping to be able to get a Lifeblood out, but I shall not. They're going to trade. And I'll have a Uterra and Echo Wisp, which is nice. I'll probably chuck down another Uterra and... Ooh, nice. Iceborne Fortitude, you don't see that much. And a Spark, ouch. So that was a really good play. Totally wiped the board, and... I'm going to Uterra right in the middle, out of reach of the Stormforged, and then Grove Huntress buffing the Uterra. The key to this deck is having cards survive, so that was actually a really clever play he did then. Basically a total board wipe. Not a total board wipe. Board wipe on my side, he has cards still alive. Very good play. Sorry, I'm eating. I've had a very boring day, so I ordered myself some chocolates, and now I'm eating in the middle of a video, which is very rude, I realise. Yeah, so the trick to this deck is just to keep stuff alive on the board. So I'm probably going to... In terms of the Phytobomb, Roar, and then Packmaster, which would leave me with 3 3s on my side of the board. No, 4 4s, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. If my Packmaster's still alive, I'm going to Phytobomb Roar. If they're not yet, so that looks good. This is going to play another Lightning Spark. Yeah, he is. He's playing this deck very well, but I'm still going to Phytobomb and Roar because that takes out both of his creatures and levels up some really nice cards that I want to level up. If I was playing against a Necroom deck, I would never Fido Bomb Roar because they are chock full of Epidemics, and Epidemics would wipe out my side of the board and leave him alive, which would be very bad. Whereas because he's playing, so far it's been a pure Tempest deck, and based on the avatars I'd say there's a lot of Tempest in there. Because he's playing so much Tempest, it looks like he hasn't put any Epidemics in. He might have a Firestorm. Firestorm would be okay at this point, it would clear the board. Epidemic's the only one I'm really worried about because that is one-sided. If I've still got a lot of creatures alive, I'm going to probably Root Forge and then Lifeblood. If I don't, I'll probably Root Forge and then Grove Huntress. The thing about pure Tempest is that it doesn't have much of a way of dealing with big creatures. So yeah, at the moment it's looking pretty good. I'm probably going to Root Forge and then Lifeblood, which will give me a, what's that going to be, a 12-12 and a bunch of 4/3s and a 6/6, which against an empty board is pretty nice. I could be leveling up my Echo Wisp at this stage, but I'm going to just try to pump through as much damage as I can, as quickly as I can. And I think that's the way to go. If Tyrion? Tyrtenon. Ah, nice. Okay, so the plan of Root Forged and then Lifeblooding is no longer really viable. Echo Wisp and Root Forge is tempting. Echo Wisp and Lifeblood is tempting. I'm definitely going to Wisp. Lifeblood doesn't really do much for me. It makes my Wisp slightly tougher, but not really enough to justify it. So I think I'm going to Root Forge, because like I said, yeah, the weakness of Tempest is that they have a lot of trouble getting rid of very big creatures. And so I want as many very big creatures as I can. I also want as much lane control as I can get, in the hope of using a Lifeblood. Although I haven't really leveled my Lifeblood, so maybe it's too late for that strategy. Time will tell. So now we can either try to get 7 damage through or throw his Everflame at one of my Echo Wisps. Ferocious Roar, Lifeblood. Oh, that's a pretty nice hand, honestly. Like, worst case scenario, if he manages to wipe the board, which I don't see happening, like a level 2 Lightning and then level 1 Lightning and then a Lightning Spark and then throwing his Everflame at my Root Forge will clear the board. But doesn't mean any sign of a Firestorm so far. I like this deck because, oh, I'm down to 8 minutes. Servers, update, please come. Oh, that's nice. That would be a very nice hand if he wasn't 4 moves away from leveling up. So I don't really see that as being a very useful play at the moment. 2 of them, especially. So if my Echo Wisp survives, I'm going to chuck down probably a Deep Branch Prowler and a Lifeblood. It did. I shall do that. Oh, right. Well, I don't even have to. Doesn't have to be a Lifeblood anymore. But we're still going to do it. That one there. And this one here clears his side of the board. Leaves me with some pretty big creatures. I'm doing breakthrough damage. I've got some nice shit happening. Great, I just lost a minute then. Rewind about 10 seconds, you'll see that as my turn ended, I lost a minute. So I don't think we're actually going to finish this game due to timer issues. But you get the hang of how the deck works. It's a pretty standard green deck, but I've never played a green deck before this. So it's very exciting to me. I really like the fact that you have to play it totally differently against each deck. So I've been playing a lot of this deck. I've been playing it non-stop on Matchmaker for about like 2-3 hours last night. I couldn't sleep, so I just got up and played this on Matchmaker, just game after game after game, just to try to get the hang of playing against all the different decks. And it's been really interesting and informative. So, Rune Grove would be tempting, but I don't think it's quite close enough to the end. I'll probably Echo Wisp. And Uterra, definitely Uterra. Uterra Packmaster is a very nice card. I have 4 of them now. I got one in a Heroic the other day, which is very exciting. I prefer a Lifeblood at this stage, but I'm okay with the Uterra Packmaster because I don't think he'll be able to take it out, and if he does, he'll have to really be distracting himself from my other threats. What was it? He played an Iceborne Fortitude, over there called, the one that gives all his creatures more health, which is an interesting play. You don't see that card much, and that's because it's sort of a if you're winning, keep on winning card. It doesn't actually get you in the lead very much. So like right now, for instance, he can't play it. Like I keep throwing new creatures at him. So if he played it now, he'd like keep his Stormforge alive, but on 1 health. Probably gonna, on my turn, Uterra Packmaster level 2 and Root Forge. So Root Forge first, then Uterra Packmaster, and then buff them all if my other Uterra is still alive. Which it should be. He's going to take out the Deep Branch with that. and scoot over and kill the Uterra. That would be my move. Yep. And then he gets another card. So if he has a Firestorm, he's set, but he doesn't have a Firestorm. No one ever has a Firestorm. Ah, nice. That's a pretty good play. So that did quite effectively clear the board, but I'm just going to Root Forged and Uterra and basically ignore his Magma Hound, because in the damage race I'm winning. In the race of actually running out of time, I'm losing because it's freaking server. Grumble, grumble, grumble. But those are two very nice cards to level up. I haven't played any level 2 Echo Wisps, so I won't be able to totally fill the board up. But I can play one now. If both those cards are still alive, I'll Echo Wisp and then Lifeblood, and that'll be a very powerful move. If they're not, I'll probably Echo Wisp and Uterra, which will still be powerful. Like, I'm in a pretty good position right now. Except I've got 56 seconds left on the clock. What? It's a little bit frustrating. So if I... damn. So close to being able to Echo Wisp and then Lifeblood. But I just won because of stupid timer. I probably would have won that one. Anyway, that's the deck. This is a short one because of server issues. As soon as the patch lands, I am so excited for Shapers being nerfed, server issues being fixed. I don't care about the rest. If they just release a patch with those two things... Oh, but it doesn't count as a win, does it? I just... Okay, I'm going to very quickly play a game against the computer just to get my frickin' win, because I'm cranky. Cranky Peter. I'll be back instantaneously. And I am back just in time for you to see the end of my very, very, very quick computer easy battle. Because the computer is not very good. They have not blocked any of my actual attackers, and thus they lost. They were on easy, though. It's really hard to critique it too much for them being on easy. Let's see what my first win of the day is. It is a normal booster. Let's open that up and hopefully get 3 Zymuses. That's what I want. Instead I got Explosive Demise. Very nice. And a Dark Shaper, and a Blight Walker, and a Necro Slime. Cool. So before I finish, I want to say that this is a really nice deck, my green deck. I'm super happy with it. It does really well, pretty consistently. It's probably the closest I have to a tournament-ready deck. The green deck, the Flame Shaper deck, Fuck Shaper, but you know, it's a dickhead deck. And my mobility deck is not quite there. As soon as the patch comes out, I'm going to start putting some of those new mobility cards in. The one that, the Necrim card that when it lands, it does -2, -2, and when it moves, it does -2, -2, and the new Hellion that levels up as creatures move. Like, those two are going to go in and replace a heap of cards. And the deck will suddenly be, I think, pretty much tournament ready. And because they're both, I think those two cards are a common and a rare. As soon as it comes out, I'm going to buy a shit ton of basic boosters. How many will I be able to buy? I'm going to make sure I don't accidentally click buy now. I've heard of people doing that. I will be buying, probably not that many. Nope, more than that. I'm going to spend all my freaking money on boosters. So I'm going to get close to 200 boosters. Cancel, don't purchase. Which will hopefully net me a legendary or two. And honestly, I'm mainly doing it because I want a heap of the new cards. I could spend it. I could use it on drafts, but I'm going to spend my actual gold on drafts because I want the cards straight away. I want to chuck them in my decks, and then I want to play a tournament or two, and hopefully get enough tickets from tournaments to play drafts. That's the plan. It's very ambitious, I realise. It relies on the patch ever coming out, which it will. It'll come out someday, and I will be excited when it does. But until then, I'm Peter Hayward, and this is my very quick daily play. Actually, I'm going to talk about the deck a little bit more because I'm so excited by it. The trick with it, yeah, the trick against playing this kind of deck, and I haven't actually had that many games against these decks yet, is to just not let them keep anything alive. Like, don't level your priority levels, just keep them from keeping stuff alive. And even then they can overtake you. It's tricky. Oh, this is a different deck. I had a vague idea for like a deck based around Tree Folk, and then I went to bed and I woke up and I was like, that's not a very good idea. But if you've ever had a deck of it, if you think a deck with Tree Folk could work, let me know. It'd be interesting. This is a very strange video. I'm a little bit rambly. I've had a big day of doing very boring things. I won't be around tomorrow, but I'll see you guys on Wednesday, hopefully with a new patch. Unlikely. That's the dream. Live in the dream. Dream in the dream. That's what I'm doing. Manic Peter signing off. Thanks for watching.